Welcome to Freaky Fauna Friday, where every Friday we take a little time and explore some of the freaks of nature from around the planet we cherish so deeply. So please, jump aboard and let's explore the wilds together. Hello, and welcome back. What was so funny? I almost said Crypto's Corn. No, to Freaky Fauna Friday. I am the great and peaceful mystery.
And I am Jay.
You are Miss Emily. How are you doing today, Miss Emily?
Fine.
Actively having contractions?
Yeah, but we're still working.
I know. As far as people, so you've been on the show now for 6 weeks in a row.
I'm sorry.
No, as people don't know, we've recorded these back to back. So really, it's been one afternoon or an afternoon and a half. But yeah, 6 weeks in a row. It's just funny podcasting time travel. This animal that we're going to do today is very near and dear to my heart. And the first freaky fauna fact, do you know this animal, a government, a large government declared war on them?
Yes.
And do you know the government lost?
That doesn't surprise me.
The Great Emu War. Now, I'm like, you may hear like a government lost to an animal, a bird. Emus are a little special. All right. Now, there's been some fun shows that did emu wars and stuff like that. Today's animal is the emu. The emus are large, flightless birds. Their neck and legs are very long, but their wings are relatively tiny, reduced to less than 8 inches long. For an animal that can get up to 6 feet tall, it's pretty small. After molting, the birds are dark, but sunlight fades their feathers and they become paler at the end of season. So they kind of change colors throughout the year. Their feathers aren't quite like a typical bird's feather. They're splayed. They're much more like fur at this point. So, yeah, they're really young. They can be all kinds of colors. Chicks have longevity stripes. So they have these long stripes on their body. They're black, brown, and cream colored, so they blend in easy to the long grass and dense shrubs. Emus have 3 toes. That's very important because people think they're ostriches or really close related to ostriches, but they're not because ostriches have 2 toes. Yes, those are freaky fauna facts.
I thought they had 4.
What did you think they had 4? Out of curiosity. I don't know. I just asked
I think
him.
like 2 in the front, 2 in the back.
Yeah, there's a lot of birds that have that.
So that's why I thought ostriches had 4.
So a lot of birds that have that kind of foot style are either hanging into trees a lot, like parrots and stuff like that. Like you've seen they can hang upside down and stuff. Or like owls that are grabbing prey and having to really hold on. For emus and ostriches, for example, they're big, large running birds. So their feet need to be able to support heavy weight all the time. So that's kind of where they end up like clubs versus more dexterous feet like those other birds. But I can see why you think 4 toes. Emus are the second largest living bird on the planet. And they're the largest living bird in Australia. Any thoughts?
So is an ostrich bigger than them then?
Yeah, the ostrich is the biggest living bird.
Okay.
Ostriches are huge and very scary. On average heights, they're 5'7". They can get up to 6 foot. Males weigh between 110 and 121 pounds, and females weigh about 11 pounds heavier than males on average. As far as aggressive levels, if somebody's considering getting one of these as a pet, which you need a lot of expertise for, males are a lot more docile than females. I know it's kind of weird when you think about a lot of these animals and stuff like that. You got something? You thinking of something?
What did you say? I feel like females would be more like not docile though.
More aggressive?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it depends on the animal. I mean, when you think of a lot of animals, testosterone, like cows, for example, you can be in a pen with cows, but not a bull.
Just because the way I think of it is they're trying to like guard their young more.
So the males
Whereas
actually,
males
we'll get to some freaky fun facts about them. The female does nothing with the egg besides lay it.
Like penguins?
Kind of like penguins. She's like, screw you, But native habitats, emus only live in Australia and the islands around them, where they are widespread. Subspecies once existed in Tasmania and Kings Island, but now are extinct. Emus live in the eucalyptus forest, woodlands, the heathlands, desert scrublands, and sandy plains. So it's just saying they're highly adaptable. Emus do not care where they live. They'll live in the rainforest and they'll live in the desert. They'll just live. They are only it is found in the desert areas only after heavy rains that cause like growth, and stuff like that for fruits of shrubs. Emus also live close to Australia's big cities, but are no longer found where native vegetation has been cleared out for agricultural use. So these guys are directly related to vegetation. They're big fruit eaters and stuff like that. So once you get rid of the fruit, they leave. Emus migration may be a result of human agriculture. The establishment of artificial but permanent watering points in the Australian hinterland, where cattle and sheep graze, have enabled emus to expand into places in which they were previously excluded from by lack of water. So where farmers and stuff are putting water out for their sheep and cows out in the red sand deserts of Australia, these guys are starting to show up. So that's a good thing. So yeah, emus. They typically only live to be 5 to 10 years old. They can live to be a little longer in human care. Any questions?
No.
Miss Belly bumping the table? Normally, I'm only the one doing that. So, you want to know how emus got their name?
Is it from like their family name?
It's a good guess. It's a really good guess. But no, it's from the male's sound. The males make a sound that sounds like emu.
It's like the coqui.
Yeah, like the coqui, and there's a bunch of animals that are named after the sound they make. But emu. And they can be heard from over very long distances. Females, though, on the other hand, make really loud, robust, booming sounds. Sounds almost like a plane starting to start up or something. And males normally only do this when they're trying to find a mate. So there's just a very limited time where they actually make sounds. Other than that, they're pretty quiet. Like I said, these guys will travel hundreds of miles to find sources of food and water. They must have a daily access to fresh water. When food is abundant, emus store large amounts of fat, which can be rendered down into emu oil, which has been used for like shoes and stuff like that. So if anybody's ever seen emu oil, it is rendered emu fat. So these birds may also lose up to 50% of their body weights while searching for food. So they do these long migrations where they get to places with abundance, they eat and eat and eat, get really fat, and they may lose 50% of their body weight trying to make it to the next source of food and water.
Do camels do that too?
Kinda, yeah. Well, they store that fat in their hump. It's not water. Everybody thinks it's water. It's not water. It's fat. It's food reserves. Mm-hmm. They actually don't store water extremely well compared to food. Emus eat the parts of the plants that most concentrated with nutrients, like seeds, flowers, fruits, and young shoots. They can also eat insects and small invertebrates when they're easily available. They will not eat dry grasses or mature leaves. Emus ingest large pebbles up to 1.5 ounces to help their gizzard grind up food. A lot of birds eat rocks to help, they get in their gizzard.
Yeah.
They also often eat charcoal. These guys have been seen raiding camps to eat all their coal. Yes. Any questions so far?
No.
So my last little thing for you, I got a couple more, but the big one is reproduction. Before mating, the female makes dull, rattling drum-like sounds, and the male builds a nest in his territory, and the female later joins him. So the female just makes these noises, and the male just goes and builds a nest. Mm-hmm. The nests are made of leaves, grass, bark, and shallow depressions next to low brush. It holds it holds 15 to 25 eggs, which come from several hens. So several males will build nests. The emu females will come in and lay eggs. It may be 3 or 4 different ladies that he's bred. The males incubate the eggs. During incubation, which lasts 56 days, the male does not eat, does not drink, and does not defecate. He sits on the egg, and that is all he does.
So where does his poop go?
He holds it. Once the male starts sitting, most females leave the territory, sometimes pairing up with males and laying further clutches elsewhere. A few stay to defend the males on the nests, using their loud booming calls to scare away would-be predators. Males are aggressive when their chicks hatch. They drive the remaining females away and attack anything else that approaches the nest. So the second the babies are up, these guys are monsters. They remind you that they are living dinosaurs. Newly hatched chicks are about 15 to 16 ounces. And males stay with the chicks above for about 5 to 6 months, sometimes 7 months. Lost chicks from other broods are allowed to join another male's group. Ducks are seen doing this and stuff like that. If a duckling gets lost, a lot of times they'll get adopted by a different mom. If they are smaller than his own offspring, the male may then mate for the next season's nesting. At 2 or 3 years of age, the young are fully mature and capable of reproduction. So yeah, he lets his babies kind of stay in his territory. He'll take an extra. So emu males are really good dads. They are really protective. What are you laughing at?
Emails.
Emails.
The emails.
Yeah. So that's why you get a baby and you raise it with your kids, so it protects your kids. Better than like a dog, because we'll talk about that.
We're still not getting one.
How fast do you think an emu is?
Not as fast as a cheetah.
You are correct.
But probably, I don't know. I see it being almost as fast as like a jaguar, maybe? I don't know.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm just, out of all the animals I thought you'd pick for a speed reference, the jaguar was not in my list. I'm sure they are fast. In short bursts.
Yeah.
In my head, jaguar was not in there. Up to 35 miles per hour, so about a horse. I don't know how fast a jaguar can run, so you may be exactly on the money. I don't know.
I'm looking it up.
Their long legs enable them to walk considerable distances and outrun danger. Emus, here's a really fun fact about emus. They are extremely strong, good swimmers. How fast can a jaguar run?
Up to 50 miles per hour.
And short burst, I'm sure. Cats are good at running.
46 for a lion.
Did you hear my last little fact? Emus are really good swimmers.
Yeah.
There was a video of a kayaker out in some of these islands. And he's out I think he's 30 or 40 miles in between islands. Just out in the open ocean. And as he's going, he sees this thing coming at him. Swimming across the ocean, looking at him. And he thought it was a sea serpent. And as it gets up to him, it's this big emu just swimming right by him. And it looks at him and just keeps on swimming, going from one island to the next. In emus, as in most ratas, large flightless birds, which include ostriches, rays, and cassowaries, males incubate the eggs. So there you go. They are listed as least concerned. In the areas they are found, they are abundant. Their cousins, the cassowaries, are not the same. They're actually endangered, which may be another one that comes up soon. But yeah, any questions about emus?
No. There's also that TikTok lady.
I do like her.
Karen.
Yeah. That's
And is it Stanley too? Is the other one?
Yeah.
I like watching them do their little dancey dance.
And Stanley's much more friendly than Karen.
Yeah.
Which, for multiple reasons. Male, female, first off.
Well, and Karen was from an abusive farm that she rescued her from.
People get rays too, which is another bird I looked at getting. That's the mini ostriches. They just kind of look like ostriches. They're smaller. They're a lot dumber. And they are just angry dumb. They just pick fights to pick fights. And they don't know what they're picking a fight about. They'll fight a fence post. I've seen it. Because it's been a fence post that's been in an enclosure for years. And then one day they just it looked at me wrong. And so they try to murder it.
It's like Stanley catching the fake treats, but
Yes.
you can't catch an actual
Stanley
one.
is a little slow for an emu. Mentally. But he's good. He's got a good heart. He's just not all there.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Now you'll know now you know some facts when we get an emu.
We're not getting one.
So you should be prepared now. They've been doing this for 6 weeks. What is your weekend wisdom, guru? Good radio.
Live long and prosper.
I think you used that 3 weeks in a row now.
Well, I'm using it again.
Okay. I have been the great and peaceful Mr. E.
And I've been Jay.
We'll catch you next week, guys.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Freaky Fauna Friday. If you want to help the podcast grow, remember to share and give it a 5-star review